Rosemary wants to know, I would love to ask what can be done for varicose veins.
Yeah, I would definitely start this one as well with an examination by a specialist, specifically a vascular specialist, as it can be indicative of a, potentially another more serious issue such as chronic venous insufficiency, CVI. So again, trying to take these issues as serious as possible.
Yeah.
I would start there. Now, what varicose veins, essentially, they're veins that become enlarged and twisted as evidenced by sort of their appearance, whether it's on your lower leg or wherever. It's mostly hereditary. So oftentimes it's not it can't be directly attributed to like your occupation, let's say, or something that you did. Although there are certain occupations where, maybe you stood a little more stagnant in that way.
Pharmacy.
Like pharmacist. Yeah, definitely can, if there is a hereditary component, something that can potentially
aggravate
push that further.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now for the most part, it's benign, but it can lead to further complications. If it isn't really painful or symptomatic, besides the cosmetic sort of burden of it, you can just sort of live your life and move without limitation as long as you can tolerate that. Now, if it's something that you did want to intervene because it's painful, you can't tolerate standing, or there's skin issues, ulcers, it has the potential, very low percentage, to have a malignant transformation.
Okay.
Which it can turn into almost a form of cancer. Again, very low chance, but
we're talking like sub 10%. Okay. All right.
Yeah. There is a risk of like bleeding with minor traumas. If it's directly on the area.
Guess,
Clotting and then clotting throughout the body because of that, it can occur. Again, those are all sort of worst case situations. If you are in a situation like that, and we'll pretend theoretically. She is, the most effective treatments are one of these 4 or 5s.
Okay.
4 or 5, which would be, there's laser treatment. There are direct surgical interventions, something called radio frequency ablation, sclerotherapy, where they essentially, I believe, inject like some sort of liquid chemical directly into the veins that can help them improve.
Yeah.
And then there's also like a medical adhesive or glue that has a similar, plays a similar role. Now, as far as anything that I can recommend over the counter supplement wise, not really.
Yeah, there's not. I didn't think there was.
Yeah. I mean, there are some supplements that you can do if this is something that's related to more of a direct cardiovascular issue, chronic venous insufficiency. There are some herbs and some things in some of our cardiovascular products that I suppose could help. But again, if this is just an isolated hereditary case of varicose veins that's maybe given somebody some issues, I think you want to go directly to somebody that deals with varicose veins.